Hey y'all, it's me, Kevvie, and I am back with another poetry collection. This time I read Crossfire by Staceyann Chin. She is a black lesbian who has been writing poetry for decades and just finally, in the past couple of years, put out her first printed collection, and oh, it is so good. So here are a few of my favorite poems from the collection. Tweet this, motherfucker. In response to the man who tweeted, "You're a dirty, carpet-munching cunt that belongs in my kitchen, washing my dishes and cock. Your test tube baby is a freak of nature. Write a poem about that." Obviously, you are a rotting dick, an asswipe, an open sore existing among the worst tumors that plague humanity. You are an apology someone should have made to women centuries ago. Today, you remain a very good reason abortions should remain legal and available to every woman who finds herself carrying the figurative fetus of your fetid misogyny. Get the fuck out of my womb, you hater of your own origin. You forget you came from some woman's cunt. The pussy you so deride provided a path for you to get here spewing such sick soliloquy. Your existence also makes a good argument for capital punishment. Only I hold myself accountable to a more compassionate code of ethics. So I will refrain from advocating for the archaic quartering of you. I will also resist the urge to imagine you shackled in sequestered servitude, kneeling at the altar of some woman's holy punani, washing her feet with your mouth. Only, I would not wish her the degradation of your tongue on her flesh, your feet on her floors. I will spend my entire life trying to protect my daughter from the slime of your ignorance, the sweat of your hate. Coward that you are, hiding behind the intangible shroud of the virtual, your keystrokes are the only ones with any fucking power. Impotent, unimportant little man. You splatter the male identity with the putridity you exude. Rotting apple. Gonorrheal wound refusing to heal. You would have us conclude that most men are like you, but for the stellar examples in my life, I would think you the norm. Your actions might inform the love I cradle, for those small boys in my circle, earnestly learning how to be better than the monster you have chosen to be. Far and away, Frankenstein. You frighten me with your ability to keep breathing, your inclination to replicate, to recruit, to keep pressing the boot of your discrimination upon the necks of generation after generation after generation. The only thing that prevents me from raising arms and going guerrilla after you with guns is our collective dedication to the eradication of your kind across all the borders of feminism and race. Spaces hold wire against the throat of inequality. Women resist you. Heart and body with cunts and collarbones kill your cowardice. Kitchens and bedrooms we rebuke all you offer as fact. The act of tweeting something does not make it true, you ignorant motherfucker. You are only a narrow opinion, constructed poorly, in 140 characters. Your cavalry is not nearly as committed as mine. From Nairobi to New York City, from Kingston, Jamaica to Jakarta, these litanies we are forced to compose will stand as evidence to your crumbling motherfucking tyranny. Time will hold your actions as crimes against humanity, as it was with every disease before you. The strongest, most admirable parts of being human will keep adapting over and over. Watch us adapt, motherfucker. Watch us morph, hatch, give birth to a power reminiscent of Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. History has already shown us what doesn't kill us will make our resistance stronger. Can you hear me, motherfucker? What doesn't kill us will make our resistance stronger. What doesn't kill us will make our resistance stronger. What doesn't kill us will make our resistance stronger. on jumping off ledges. You be up in my gut like intestines, twisting away at my insides. Like a blade, you be difficult to fade like a discordant song composed to go higher when it's ending. I play you incessant, over and over to remind me that we never began anything, really. Never began nothing. Odd how I remember make-believe notes about you. Minor keys in succession of she wants me not. It sure is crazy how I already fancy myself in love with the sound of you coming from Omaha or Idaho. Michigan is the one place you made time for me. A bathroom in Frisco is all I have because I don't want to demand too much of you. Don't want the slender bridge that connects us to break because I had to show my lack of home training or patience, or the vision to see that you were struggling with the decision to see me before I dash off to Europe, or maybe because your woman wouldn't let you go all the way across the world to see some strange woman read sonnets in Scotland. Denmark would be the love song you might write about us. Two black girls on a ferry from Copenhagen to Malmo. We could circumvent fate with the canal surrounding the city with almost no poverty. Wouldn't we be living pretty off the fat of someone else's land? I want to know what the small of my back would feel like with your hand holding it in Ireland. I want you to want me like you want her to change. I want the freedom to write you like you want her to paint. Beautiful, and without hesitation, I am lobbying for whole weekends in Washington, to fuck you relentless in Berlin, and to not be a sin in Atlanta. The more practical parts of me recommend resignation from this post of almost lover. Only sort of emotional, nearly but not quite fucking you, friend. This cannot end well. So I have quietly decided to construct this maybe ultimatum, perhaps even final farewell, before I find myself 3 flights up on a broken fire escape, threatening to jump or push you over some ill-conceived ledge of impossibility. Raise the roof. White supremacy must be in the water ingested by police, the prosecutor, and the politicians who remain silent while a steady staccato of black bodies fall like leaves in Ferguson, in Cleveland. It is autumn in America, and the world has lost its fucking mind. White cops caught killing on camera, forcing us to relive the constant killing of our kin. A new story cracks our consciousness every day. Every day we watch those viral videos, becoming more and more numb, more struck dumb by the sheer gall of these cops steady snuffing out black lives in their Made in America home movies. Every day I have to drown my fears for my child, born black and a girl, in a country in which her safety does not matter to anyone with any power. I try not to think about the catcalls in her future, the crass comments black boys make about black girl bodies. But this poem is not about that. This poem is about the blatant racism embedded in the national justice system. It's about grand juries that consistently refuse to indict murderers captured on video. It's about the consensus of white opinions that overwhelm the evidence available to anyone with a fucking cellular phone. I am consuming these murders on repeat, the helpless bile rising angry in my chest. Public shootings, documented by onlookers, images passed around after the event. This phenomenon is Black Lynching 2.0, except this time we are spectators of our own genocide. Consuming the flesh of these murdered women and men who were never willing martyrs in our movement, dead children of parents who now mourn them without closure, without a day in court. We are moving backward through history, back to that time when black mothers who lost children to white arrogance had no recourse. That shameful time that supposedly ended with Emmett Till, with Herbert Lee, with Medgar Evers, with Harriet Moore, with Malcolm X. Back then, there was no hypocrisy about the system being stacked against anyone with a smidgen of melanin staining the history of their skin. 5 decades after the Black Civil Rights Movement, and we are still not protected by the law. This is not what we voted for when we voted our first black president. This is not what our freedom fighters hoped for when they marched against segregation in Selma and Chicago and Birmingham and Montgomery. This is not the dream Dr. Martin Luther King died for in Memphis, Tennessee. 50 years later, race relations in America is still a fucking cauldron of bubbling, angry, under the ugly swirl of black despair, held in place by the lack of white accountability. Parading as a penal system in which 40% of those incarcerated come from a group which only consists of 12% of the entire fucking population. With numbers like that, what good does it do me to comply with those in uniform? Body riddled by 41 bullets for raising your hand while holding a candy bar. Shot dead at 12 for holding a toy gun. Strangled by an illegal chokehold for selling loose cigarettes. Arrested without cause for walking and talking while black. All this while we pay taxes and vote for white presidents presiding over these United States as if Black Death did not matter. This country continues to default on the promise of citizenship for black people. A system sworn to protect us owes us something when it fails. A system sworn to protect us owes us something when it fails. In the roll call for protection, all black bodies must be accounted for. Straight, queer, transgender, lesbian, feminist, Muslim, man, woman, immigrant, dark-skinned, non-binary, tall, fat, skinny, light-skinned. In the face of any killing, our sorrow must be one. Our rage must be one, though we speak with many voices. We must rise with one sound. We must call out the names of the dead. Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Yvette Smith, Michael Brown, Kiwi Herring, Sean Bell, Tarika Wilson. Sandra Bland could have been any one of us. We have to find the fortitude to keep fighting for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. It is time to put our bodies where we say our politics lie. This is not a moment to invoke the sweet by and by. This is not a moment for civil fucking disobedience, no matter what you do with our flesh. No matter how long you wage war against our spirit, our bodies will remain a force of resistance to the proliferation of white supremacy. No matter where you came from, no matter how you got here, inside the brutal walls of these United States of America, white power must always meet fire when it meets with us. If there is any humanity left in you, get up. Stand up. Sit in. Join a fucking protest. Pick up a fucking pen. Write, scream, wail, march. Pull down a fucking racist flag. Plan, scheme, plot a way forward. Fucking strategize. It's time to raise the roof on these motherfuckers. It is time for America to come to terms with the permanent fact of black bodies. You have to get used to us white people. Make a decision to do right by us. Do it willingly or unwillingly, we don't fucking care. As for the progressive white liberals among us, find the words to speak to the racist white relatives you keep disowning. All of you have got to get with the fucking program, because our black asses are never, ever, ever going away. See, yeah, this collection is just incredible, and I'm so glad I stumbled on it. You have any poetry collections you think I should read? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if it pleases and sparkles, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!